Hi everyone, Gruntle here, and this is my guide to legendary and unique weapons in Borderlands the pre-sequel. This episode we're looking at the Badaboom, which is a legendary Skav rocket launcher returning from Borderlands 2. In Borderlands 2 it was a bandit rocket launcher, and now it's a Skav one. Now there are no bosses that have this as a set drop, so you'll have to get it from a world drop or from a vending machine, or even from the grinder if you'd like. It can come in one of 5 elements. It can come in the explosive damage version, or a shock, cryo, incendiary, or corrosive version. If we have a look up close of it here, this is what it looks like. It's got squiggly patterns all over it, and it's a bit shiny, so that's kind of cool. And now apparently the word Badaboom is, and the red text multi-kill are references to the film The Fifth Element, and also the word Badaboom is part of Badaboom Bada Bing, or Bada Bing Bada Boom, depending on which way you say it, which apparently is slang for it's finished or it's taken care of. So, yes. Now, if we look at the parts here on this weapon, we have the, I almost said bandit, Skav. It is the Skav barrel. Skav barrel, and it's always going to spawn with a Skav barrel. Basically that is going to increase your damage but give you worse accuracy. And other parts on this weapon, we have the Skav, I did it again. The Skav grip. Basically what that does is it gives increased mag size. That's what I'm going for on this weapon, an increased mag size so that I can shoot many times before I have to reload, just because the reload speed is quite bad. So that's going to increase your mag size, and also gives you the stabby thing, so increased melee damage too. You could also go for a Tedior grip, because that's going to increase your reload speed. Rather than give you more ammo in your mag, you can reload faster when you finish your mag. Or even a Torg grip, which is going to increase your damage, and that is always a good thing. And on to the next part, which would be the exhaust. Now here is the Skav exhaust, and that is going to increase the mag size again. However, you could also have a Molowan exhaust, which would increase the projectile speed, so the missiles will get to their targets faster, which is actually quite a useful thing with this weapon. I almost put the Molowan part on there. Or even a Torg exhaust, because that increases damage again. So, an interesting thing with rocket launchers that the assault rifles and other guns in the game haven't had yet, that I've looked at, is the sight actually affects the damage and things like that on a rocket launcher. With the other guns it was just aesthetic, but with the rocket launchers it can give you buffs and debuffs. So what I've got here is the Molowan sight, and that is going to increase the missile speed. You could also put on, say, a Skav one for accuracy. I think a Torg one is also accuracy, or a Tedior one for reload speed. So what I liked is the reload speed and the accuracy I don't really want to increase, because I'm just trying to get the mag size up rather than reload speed down. But a faster missile, I reckon, is a useful thing for this weapon. And lastly, we have the accessory, and this is the accessory here. Basically what this one's going to do is give the quick change prefix, and it's going to give you increased swap speed and reload speed. I use this just because I like to use usually a rocket launcher as a backup fight for your life weapon, so I like to be able to switch to the weapon quite quickly. You can also get ones that increase the damage of the weapon or the accuracy, things like that. However, I haven't gone for that with this weapon. That negative 60% weapon put down time is affected by this accessory, and that's what it gives you. So yes, I think we should compare it here to the purple version of a Skav not assault rifle, this is a rocket launcher. Purple version of a Skav rocket launcher. You can see that the damage per projectile, actually no, that's damage overall, is the green arrow. Damage overall is increased on the Badaboom compared to this purple version, and that is because there are 6 rockets that come out of the Badaboom. whereas a normal purple Skav will only have 3. However, the base damage of each rocket is less on the Badaboom than it is on the purple, but when you have 6 of them, it just basically overpowers that small decrease in damage. And the accuracy of the Badaboom is quite low, so you can put on parts maybe, or find one with parts that are going to increase accuracy, and that will help with the usability of this weapon. But I don't really mind, because you can shoot a bunch of times and you usually get a few shots off. It's got pretty high damage, so yeah, I reckon we should start firing it here, and I'll show you what it does against these dummies. So we'll move up close here. So it goes, I hit the barrier. Let's see if I can not hit the barrier. You can see that there are 6 rockets that come off there, and they kind of fly inaccurately towards the target, but they all do quite a decent amount of damage. So it's going to be easier to hit an enemy that is closer than farther away, of course. And right now you can see that the reload speed of this weapon's quite bad, especially if you're in fight for your life mode. It's going to be quite a bad time reloading in the middle of it. So having a high mag size, I reckon, is a very good idea, which is why I've gone with those particular parts. And now there, actually, I'll show you here, I have on a sham shield, so that's going to absorb 94%, or it's got an absorbed chance of 94%. Basically what that means is, most of the time when you shoot the ground underneath yourself, you're not going to damage yourself with the explosive blast from this weapon, so you can use it, and a lot of people do use it, as a way to do rocket jumps. Rocket jump! So that's kind of cool. That means that it's pretty usable for all characters if you have a sham. It's a great weapon to pick up if you've got a sham with any of the characters in the pre-sequel, to do rocket jumps and nonsense like that. However, it is especially good with Claptrap, who I have here, as he has explosive damage buffs. And if you have the explosive version, it has more damage compared to the elemental ones, and so you can get the buffs and just do a heap of damage to bosses and things like that. A lot of people use it for boss fights, as well as just fight for your life mode. However, you could possibly use a cryo version with the Baroness, or maybe a shock or incendiary with Athena. Those could work pretty well. However, they're all pretty good, it seems. Now what I'm going to do now is jump over to Overlook, and we'll test out this weapon with, I didn't mean to send that minion out, by the way, so we'll run away from that noise. We're going to jump over to Overlook and test this weapon out with Claptrap, and I'll be using it to kill enemies rather than fight for my life mode. But usually, as I say, I would only use it for fight for my life mode unless I'm up against a boss fight. But anyway, I will jump over to that, and I'll talk to you about how I think the weapon is doing during that. Wait, I forgot a thing. I forgot to say that with the sham and the Badaboom, it's a really good combination, because if you are low on ammo, like I am now, I only have 25 rockets out of, I think, 33 maximum. 25 out of 33. Basically what you can do with the sham is you can use it to regen your rocket ammo, and because it shoots out 6 rockets, you can shoot the ground underneath you, and you'll likely gain, unless you go into fight for your life mode like that, you're likely to gain extra rockets, so you can actually increase the amount of ammo you have by shooting yourself when you're holding, or when you have a sham on. And anyway, we'll jump over to that gameplay, as I was saying. So we're here in Overlook with Claptrap, and what I'm going to try and do in a second is clump up the enemies with a Mega Nade, which I'll throw out now, and that should make it easier to kill multiple at once, especially with those 6 rockets going out in a single shot. And that's what makes this weapon so good, is the amount of rockets going out every single shot. It's quite cool. I do go into fight for your life mode in a second, and luckily enough I'm able to get out of it because Claptrap has reload buffs in fight for your life mode. However, generally you'd have a full mag when you go down as you wouldn't be using it to kill all of the enemies, or at least I wouldn't, because I use it for a fight for your life mode thing rather than an actual gameplay weapon. But it is actually doing a really good job at taking out these enemies, so that is a really good sign. And the fact that it is in multiple elements too is just an awesome thing. If you would like to read more about this weapon and how it is in Borderlands 2 also, you can read the wiki page that I've left a link to in the description below the like button of this video. You can have a check out of that. Otherwise, this is a very good weapon, a great launcher to start off the launches. If you'd like to see more of these weapon guides, I will be putting out all the launcher guides in the coming days, and you can subscribe for more of that content. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.